What's up, guys? If I'm live, I'm live. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for a live video that could turn in something completely different than I want to talk about because apparently uh, Fabio Caressa from Sky Sport and his team are going to reveal some big news in about, they say 11, and 11 start. The show they do usually on Sunday starts at 11. So let's say within the next half an hour, they will reveal some big news that has nothing to do with the penalty that's coming, but could have something to do with transfers or the managerial situation at the club. Um, they're hyping it up, so let's see what it will be. I cannot watch it because for some reason the channel is not working. So I just, like you, I need to read what's happening on Twitter, basically, because I cannot get it up. Um, it could be something big, it could be anything. It could be potential. Maybe I'm going overboard now. Potential selling the club the way they're speaking about or something. So um, let's see. Let's see what it will be. But to that, until that time, excuse me. Um, until that time, excuse me. Let's talk about what happened today. I made a video about it that will drop tomorrow, but it's different to talk about it in a live because I was planning to do a preview, but there's nothing to preview on, so it's just pointless to do a preview. Also, what what happened today in the presser, because I was expecting a very boring presser. I was expecting very standard things. I was expecting nothing big to happen. Basically, I was just expecting the standard post game disappointment presser where you're gonna get the generic stuff. Nothing wow, nothing special. Last day of the season, um, and it turned out to be an absolutely disaster for Allegri because he said so much, and ironically, he said that players needed to be quiet after the game. Well, he needs to be quiet because I think he burned down a lot of bridges today. With the club, with certain players, it was just crazy what he was saying. Like, it was absolutely crazy. I think he starts off the presser, but also please like the video because there's still no likes. So please like the video. But he starts off the presser by saying, I still have 2 years on my contract. I talk to the management. I always talk to the management. I want to stay, blah, 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 all the usual stuff. But he ends it with the sentence that leaves a lot of things open for imagination. And I'm gonna explain how I read into that, basically. At the end, he said, but the club obviously is a final decision making. The fact that he added that to me, in my opinion, kinda suggests what I've always believed, that job security is not 100% certain and things are a bit all over the place, like we know, but also behind the scenes of which direction the club wants to go in, because he made it very clear that I'm not leaving. I have 2 years, but obviously the club might have a different idea for the future. If he was really certain, he wouldn't have added that into it. And he kind of made, in my opinion, made that public to basically made a statement to the club saying, I have a contract. If you want me out of here, you know what to do, basically. That's how I read into what he said, basically, today. About him staying next season, about him do it again, go for a third year, and, try to make it work again, basically. That was kind of weird, in my opinion. But then he topped it. He said things that he should never have been saying, if we be completely honest. He basically, like what he did today, I'll get into the chasing thing, but in general, he basically told the players to lie in front of the camera. That's what he basically said. He basically told the players to come in front of the camera and do the generic copy paste media training comments, which I've always hated when Danilo does that, or Neymar Bonucci does that. Come from the camera, and I'm like, you're gonna speak, but I can just go back to your previous interview from a couple of weeks ago, and I can copy paste that because you're just gonna say the same stuff. You know, um, I love when the league does that. The league gets hate for that for no reason. He just tell the truth. People are laughing with the league about a situation at Bayern without watching him play because he's having an excellent season. There's nothing to laugh about. If you're laughing at other players that left the club in the situation we're in, you're just weird, or you have an agenda you just don't want to get off. Because the Ligt tell the truth and Chesney tell the truth. Allegri is basically saying lie in front of the camera, because he said in the heat of the moment, post game, you say stuff that you might not mean. That's a lie. You say stuff you actually mean. That's why I do my post game straight after, because everything is fresh in my memory. I will say what I think without getting influenced by videos, quotes, whatever, other opinions. Post game, my opinion, what I think happened. Same for Chesney. He came out and he said what I'm going to say 75, 80% of the fan base thought. When we go up 1-0, we sit back, we invite pressure, we don't play well. Not winning titles at the club for 2 years is not good enough. Like, he said the truth. And what does Allegri say? Players after the game need to be quiet because it's in the heat of the moment. They shouldn't be really talking. And then he added on top of that, he said maybe Chesney was trying to say something else. Maybe his Italian wasn't good. And he said that with a straight face, not jokingly. He was very serious about it. If you saw that he was angry that Chesney said what he said, and that's absolutely shocking because first of all, you're basically telling the players lie, don't say what you feel. On top of that, you are questioning Chesney's ability to speak Italian, which is amazing. Like, he speaks very clearly the Italian language very well. Like, it's very understandable. He uses words that if you don't master the language, or if you're not good at speaking certain language, you're not using the words Chesney is using. He speaks very well. Like, you can, like Vlahovic, same for Vlahovic. Like, when they speak Italian, Dybala, they speak Italian. You can understand what they are saying. You see that they understand what they're saying. It's not Khedira speaking Italian, if people remember that. Like, he couldn't speak, and when you tried, you were like, yeah, you better not do that. You might say something you actually were not trying to say. With these players, Chesney, even De Ligt, to be honest, in a short space of time, but Dybala, Vlahovic, they know what they're saying. Like, they're not idiots. But the fact that Allegri told that was wow. And I said it in a video that will drop tomorrow. If I were... excuse me. If I were Chesney tomorrow or today in training, whatever, I would have walked up to Allegri and I would have called him out because it's mad. You cannot say that. You cannot say these things because you're questioning his abilities in, first of all, speaking the language, and second of all, having an opinion about a game. He was very honest. After Vlahovic scored, we sat back. We absolutely, I set the stat from the Suso goal up to the Lamela goal. Our longest possession was 37 seconds. Now, is the thing Chesney said, is that in line with that stat, or is it not in line with that stat? It is, because we were crap after a goal, and he saw that. When players come out and say these things, and it's not a positive thing, it's a very negative thing. It's very honest. People might view it as a negative thing. And you have a coach saying, no, it's not true, when everybody can see that. When other players have said that in the past. When you can see certain players are not happy at the club, it says something, in my opinion. I don't think it's all well in the locker room. And when the rumors come out from sources, multiple sources, every single day, that he's trying to have a say in who's going to be the sporting director when your contract ends in 2 years. Even if you're staying for 2 years, you're gone after that period, very likely. Like, the sporting director is there for a very much, like, he should be there for a longer time. So why would the club listen to a coach that is not going to be there as long as a new sporting director? Like, it makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And maybe he has been promised things and they're not holding their promises. Maybe he was promised to have more influence, like has been reported when he came back in transfers and say in the club. But things changed. Agnelli and his friends all messed up. They're all gone. It's Alcon now trying to steer the ship. He's trying to implement a new direction. He's trying to set out, the persons to take over. And that's what usually happens. New people in charge, new rules, their rules, basically. And they want something else. I think that's what's happening. I think he was promised a certain package, but that was when Agnelli and all the other guys was there. Things have changed now. That's just my opinion, and I feel that Alcon is changing things to that quote unquote agreement. Because he called Giuntoli, he asked him to join, and maybe with Agnelli, I don't know, he had more say in all those things. I have no idea, but that's the vibe I'm getting. He's very reckless. Like 5 years ago, he was a gentleman. Like, he was a real man. He never said these type of things, even off the pitch, like the reports off the pitch, what happens in the locker room, on the sideline, all these things. He was very calm. He's losing it. He's losing his composure, and he's throwing players under the bus. He's throwing players under the bus. After the Sevilla game, he said something, not with with these direct. I'm paraphrasing him, not with these direct words, but he was basically saying if Fajoli was, better position on the field and he had a better feel in the field, he might have not picked up that injury. Like, he's saying wild stuff where they make you think and they make you actually sad. They make you very confused. Um, yeah, people are just playing around now. Um, yeah. If anyone has news, let me know, because again, the channel is not working, so I just need to. I need to, like, you guys need to follow it on social media. Excuse me. But he lost it completely today, Allegri. Like, he completely lost the plot. Like, he went sideways, and I think there's no way back now, because I believe a lot of players are not with him anymore. They're looking at him sideways. They're looking at him as you're losing it and you have no control over this, because you cannot say that. Like, let's be completely honest. You cannot say what he said today with a straight face, questioning a person's intelligence twice, basically, the skills level twice. But yeah, absolutely crazy. Hanina's asking, do you expect real news from the Caressa guy? Um, he better, because he hyped it up. So let's see. He's describing it as big news, which is very weird, because if it's that big, we should have had a leak by now. If it's that really that big, how did they kept that quiet for that long? Now, Fabio Caressa is not an insider, but he works for Sky, so does Di Marzio and a lot of other guys, and maybe they have some info. I don't know. But they hyped it. Oh my god, it's getting late. They hyped it up, so it better be some good news. I'm expecting something managerial wise, not really transfer wise. I'm expecting, that's what I think, something about hiring and sacking and all those things. But let's see. I think yeah, let's see. Because tomorrow we should have had the penalty, about the points deduction will be 12 or whatever, just to keep us out of the Champions League. But let's see what this news will be. News will be. Because there hasn't been some real news today. Giuntoli the usual stuff that he's joining. Di Marcio says something about um Allegri yesterday. I didn't tweet it out because it was getting out of context. Di Marcio, excuse me, just gave an opinion. He didn't say I have intel that Allegri is going to say 100% sure. He just made an opinion. People reported it as news. Well, that was completely fake. Um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna post Di Marcio opinions because he's not even getting the real news right about the club for a good 3-4 years now. So I'm not gonna post opinions because that's just crazy. Um, let me see. Let me see the comments. Zidane or Spalletti for Juve next would be great. I don't agree. Is Opera returning? Will the an investor coming in? No, not sure. Just waiting, like you guys. Bomba news are about to come out according to Twitter. Yeah, according to Caressa. Do you listen to Spalletti? I didn't understand what he meant from the translations. I haven't listened to it. I just read a quote. Uh, he like what basically happened. He had a 1 year extension option, and De Laurentiis basically used that option without actually asking Spalletti, "Do you want to stay and what's the plan?" He just used that option like it's a player, and Spalletti didn't like that. He didn't like that, and there's kind of a war going on between them. What I what I've read and what I made of it is basically him saying that I'm leaving. Like there's no relationship with me and De Laurentiis, which is absolutely madness. If De Laurentiis does that, it's absolutely crazy. Uh, but that's what I got from it. But according to Nico Shira and all the other guys, um, he's on the verge of leaving. So unbelievable. But that's happening, basically. He's been linked to us for some reason because I don't know who reported it. Was it Gazzetta dello Sport or Corriere dello Sport saying that Giuntoli would love to bring in Spalletti. I think it's very easy journalism, you know. Giuntoli is possibly joining. Let's link him to Spalletti because Allegri is on the quote unquote hot seat. Soon you will get linked to Napoli players, but that's not really how things work. If you're being completely honest, uh, David is saying we don't need Agnelli back. Well, that's obvious. Does anyone says we do? Cressa said Agnelli is coming back. When did he said that? He did not say that. As of now, he hasn't spoken yet. Um, he cannot come back because he's banned. Like he's banned. Like Cherubini, like Netfed, name the guys, they're all banned. Like Manna, who Allegri is trying to push, he's banned. So they're in no position to come back to the club, and absolutely no position. You know, and if he comes back, there will be riots for sure. It will not go down very well. No, there's no news. When is Carissa's? Carissa's having a football show every Sunday at 3 at 11 p.m. After the last game, basically in Serie A. That always happens. But let's see. The show was on now. But if it's really big news, they're gonna use the time for viewers. So it could be a while still. We have a game tomorrow. I don't care about the game. Does anyone care about the game? Because we're playing for absolutely nothing. Just we're going up there with the B squad basically, for no good reason. I'm not sure what we are going to do in excuse me, in Empoli. Not sure. You know, if they're gonna deduct 12 points from us, somebody said we still can get Europa League. I hope we did get deducted more points because I don't want to see this squad with potentially this coach play multiple games a week. I cannot handle that for another season. So if that's the case, please no Conference League whatsoever. It's up to the club to get us in the Champions League. But going off, if something comes out tomorrow, 12 points, you will get the generic copy paste chat GPT comment from the club saying we are very disappointed and shocked, but we will blah 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 this and blah blah that. Deduct the points. It's up to the club to get them back if they can. But no Europa League, please. Like if we need to see this team play multiple times next season again and play more Europa Leagues Europa League games than we have played. Now, I cannot deal with it. I actually cannot deal with it. I don't care about the game too. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna care. It's better to get European football in case UEFA bans us for a season. Yeah, but there's no news that UEFA's. There's no time. Like the UEFA has not put anything out there, so I don't think they can ban us for next season. I don't think they have the time for it because the club is gonna appeal this, the wage thing. There's no time for UEFA to do that unless they're gonna rush things and it's gonna be very ugly. But then again, the club will appeal that again, so it's gonna be like the timeline is not matching the actually time there is, in my opinion. With appeals and all that stuff. So I don't think next season will be UEFA ban if there is a UEFA ban. Um, I don't think that will be the case. So regarding the salary case for next year, can we go to TAR and can TAR potentially remove the points penalty? TAR is more about getting money, but the club can appeal it. But it's a mess. Like the club, they come across as very weak. I've said it from the get go, because they're very anonymous and they leave Allegri out there. Okay, so speaking. And still no news. Uh, yeah, he's saying about the 12 points. If that's the news about the points deduction, then he lied, and I'm not even shocked. I'm not even shocked if that's the real news. I don't really care. Um, they're talking about the penalty points. Apparently, I don't think that's the real news, because if that's the news, that's crazy. Because he said it's not about the points. Like, so I don't think that's the real news. Have you seen the? I don't care about the game, to be honest, but seeing one to vomit for the 50th time this season. That's the lineup. Some fans actually want going off the players they're trying to sell and saying they're not good enough. So hope a lot of people are going to join that lineup. Even today, I cannot believe that. Um, today, I don't know which video was that. Oh, about the wage thing, because there's going to be a penalty about the wage thing because they made it clear, like it came out officially. And I made a video about there, and people, and a guy, again, I cannot believe this is still happening, said there's nothing positive on this channel. 50 people in the chat, thanks, on a Sunday evening. Please like the video. If any one of you guys have an idea for me to make a video and be positive for 10 minutes straight, give me a topic. And it cannot be Gatti or Fagioli, but give me a topic, and it should be about the club now, because there's nothing positive. I don't know what people expect. I don't know what people are expecting. I can be positive, but I will be fake, and it will not be genuine, and I will be absolutely lying and talking out of my ass. You can get that some other places. Go there. I don't know, but there's nothing positive. Like it's real negativity at the club, because you even have a coach calling out players. Like, how do you want me to give a positive spin on that? Do you want me to come on and have a laugh about Allegri saying Jazz need to shut up and that his Italian is crap? Like, I don't get what people want. Um, so yeah, our season is over. We need to rebuild. Why are you against the return of Zidane? For me, he's the best coach who can fix our problems. The squad is not good enough for Zidane. The squad is a mess. You need somebody who has a lot of patience, has a clear idea. I'm not saying Zidane is a bad coach, but he needs certain type of players, and we don't have those type of players. I don't think it's gonna work. I think we need something completely out of the box now. I think we're in that situation. Um, they're talking about the points, but I don't care about the points. It's gonna be 12. It's gonna be 13. It's gonna be 14, but not 15. They're gonna deduct as many points as needed to keep us out of the Champions League. So I don't want to hear about that news. I'll tweet that news out tomorrow when we get the point deducted, and that's that. The fact that I will say this: the fact that newspapers already know what's coming out tomorrow does need to give not me, probably not you, but a lot of people an eye opener. But it's not doing that because this is very normal. Now imagine this happening in England, that newspapers already knew the outcome of every single thing way in advance. There will be an absolutely madness. Man City appealed the they got caught on plus 100 counts of breaching rules. They appealed that first of all by saying the judge is an Arsenal fan. I actually laughed when I saw that news because this is like it's just normal in Italy apparently. Like it's very normal. But in England it's crazy. Um, they're saying that it's very unlikely that Di Maria is gonna stay, which um, yeah, is very plausible with the relationship with Allegri. It's very normal. Let me get that out, but that we knew. That's very obvious that he was not going to stay. I think we knew that. Um, you can talk 10 minutes about how beautiful the Unity posts from Juve are after every defeat and how beautiful the huddles are. Yeah, I'll leave that to Julian. He loves those huddles. Good times. Juve will take. Um, like now they're talking transfers, but I don't care. I don't care about transfers at this moment in time. Di Maria not staying, Vlahovic possibly going. We knew that. We knew that. We knew all these things. Um, the club is in absolutely shambles. They have no idea. They sign players for big money. They sell players. They sign for big money. There's no plan behind it. Absolutely no plan. And it's actually shocking. Let me get it out. Sorry, I will speak again. Let me get it out. But yeah, still no breaking news. So let me see. Sorry. Okay. The Vlahovic thing is kind of hilarious because remember last season, um, when we were told that he's the center of the project and we were selling him. The Lake was that. Dybala was that. I think I said in the week, I said in the podcast, the club will put a spin on a lot of things. Some will eat it up. I'm not going to do that. Um, because they will, again, don't be surprised if the wage thing will be like a 30 penalty and the club will appeal it and it will go down to 15 and you will have fans, but oh, at least they got it down. You know, oh, but we need to sell players, blah, 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 all that crap because of the mess they created, you know. Same for Vlahovic. Selling Vlahovic for what? For what? If it's not money, because apparently now it's not about money. Even if you are in Europe, they they could consider selling him. Again, they're talking about Mana. So he's a sporting director of the under 23s, basically. Uh, Whatever. And again, I don't know if Juntali is going to be a great one. I have no clue. The only thing I'm asking for is do things outside of the box. Don't um, don't keep things within the club because within the club it's not good. It's not good enough what's happening within the club. So why keep going on with all these things? Think outside of the box. Bring in fresh ideas. That's what I've always said. Um, and they're not doing that. They're not doing that. That's my biggest issue. If that's a big news, I'm gonna end the stream really quickly. Excuse me, because that's absolutely crap and not big news. That's absolutely no big news whatsoever. Um, that's just news we already knew, basically. Um, Let me see in the comments. Fabio Maria won't leave if Allegri gets sacked. You don't know that. So that's the big news. Yeah, that's kind of crap. So that's a big news that the Juntali track basically has cooled down and they're looking at internal options. Um, that's the big news apparently. So that's what we waited for a good half an hour. So absolutely pointless for nothing because whatever. Let me get it out really quickly. As expecting no real news flow. How many times have they done this to us, but we don't learn? Yeah, quite a lot, quite a lot of times. That's why I said like it could be absolutely nothing at the beginning. Um, Let me see if that's real news. Mm, it's Sky. I have no idea. Yeah, they took the piss now. Okay. Yeah, it's pointless. But whatever. That's basically the big news. Uh, yeah, that's news. Yeah, we got bamboozled. That's not breaking news. So yeah, that news was out there for days. That it could also be Manna, but he's also on the suspended list. So I have no idea how that's gonna work. Um, Whatever. That's the breaking news, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up because it's very late, and that's not breaking news. It's not. Um, it's not even shocking news. It's what the club or this club usually does. But I'm gonna wrap it up. If something else breaks, I might do a video that will drop early in the morning. But I'm not gonna wait anymore. That's basically the news. No news. Like the breaking news was no news. Um, but yeah, thanks everyone for watching on a Sunday. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that bell notification. I will be back tomorrow post game. Not sure what to talk about for a game that doesn't matter. I probably will do a live or a video just on what happens tomorrow with the points deduction, just to go over that as well. But yeah, thanks for watching and see you.